welcome to the Pateliton Show, man.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on, brother.
Of course, man. This is like interviewing like a superhero, man, to me.
That's hilarious.
I just think you're one of the like you're super nice, man. I've hit up like Duncan a few times on the Patreon app, and you responded like so nicely with some of the best advice that anyone's ever given me, that I think to myself all the time, that it's like, start your podcast. Just start it. And to this day I think about it, because like things like intros, man, I spend so long, like it like is a reason why I haven't uploaded many episodes recently, man, because I've just been trying to get the most perfect intro, you know.
Duncan talks about that all the time. He cannot stress how much time he spends on those intros. And I don't I mean I get it.
Oh.
I love those intros. A well thought out and well made intro, underrated. I think
I
it's a
agree,
forgotten art.
man. I wish I could say that about like everything in my life. That I look at things that way, man, but it's not, man. What do you ever like, I'm just curious, like do you ever do like work on the intros with Duncan, like
No,
intro
not
work?
creatively. The only work that I
Yeah,
do on it would be like mixing.
got you. And you mix in like the music for the ads, right? Because I think,
Yeah, that I make. I make the music for the ads
oh,
and
okay.
mix the commercials. I edit the commercials.
Oh, okay. Okay. Has there ever has there how does that work, man? Like, does Duncan like send you the episode and like he's like, this is what I want, or is it more of like a, you send something to him and then he like lets you
In terms of
know?
music,
Yeah, like for some music, or yeah, for the ad music, for example, that you do.
so he literally just he complete I don't he completely trusts me to just do whatever. It works out.
Really?
It's awesome. He doesn't I've never had any direction for like what type of music to play for something, except for maybe just like there was one time where an advertiser said, "Hey, like, can the music be less busy?" And so I made like more relaxed music for their commercials.
Wow. So there's never been like an instance that like you send something to Duncan and he like, it like doesn't match what he's advertising.
Thankfully, no. It's pretty
Wow.
cool.
So that means that you have like the ability to add like mariachi music or like jazz to like
I definitely can't make mariachi music, but I believe that I can make something that's enough um to kind of fill the empty space and give like a supporting sound bed for his actual important information he's trying to share without being distracting.
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. And dude, I'm guessing that comes like so easy to you, because like I've seen your live streams, man, on Twitch, and they're phenomenal. Like your
Thank you so
synth
much.
setup looks like something I would love to have.
Dude,
Just, it looks more like you're communicating with like the fifth kind or something, bro, you know? Like,
it feels that way.
especially when you have like, I've seen your videos and you have like lights on like your keyboards, on your cables, and I'm always wondering like, where is that coming from? Like, what is that? How do you do that?
Well, so I think if you're talking, it's probably the modules themselves, or oh no,
Whoa.
I see what you're saying. Okay, I've got green,
Green
anything that's
cables.
green, yeah,
Oh, wow.
because I'm using a green screen.
I that's what I thought. I was like, no way those cables like are like lighting
Oh,
up
that'd be
like that.
rad.
That would be rad.
But it ends up looking really cool. It was a completely unintended thing that I discovered just
Wow.
by using the green screen. It's
That's
funny.
so sick. That's so sick. Before I forget, because I feel like I'm not gonna get into this, but the Vinyl Williams concert
Oh yeah.
was so good, man.
Dude, I'm so glad that was so trippy when you reached out and you're like, "Hey, what do you think of these guys?" And I was just like, "Dude, like literally one of my childhood friends is in that band, like one of my greatest friends to this day." And it was just really trippy.
That
I
was
was like, yeah, you
awesome,
absolutely have
man.
to see them.
I was like, no, I had like a feeling that you were gonna say that somehow.
Dude, yeah, no, that's
Somehow.
so strange. And so what did you think? How'd it go?
Oh, it was phenomenal, man. It was so cool. The visuals were so amazing, man. Uh,
Awesome.
which Vinyl also makes himself.
Yeah, was it those like 3D spaces and just like really like futuristic looking like spaces? I don't even know. Just environments? Was it just like 3D generated environments? Is that what it was?
I believe they were 4D.
Oh my goodness.
But
Was it
yeah,
being
man.
projected on like smoke and stuff or
Being
something?
projected just right like on top of them basically on this like wall behind them, man.
Beautiful.
So
Yeah.
like at points like their shadows and stuff would start like messing with the visuals as well.
Yeah, those visuals are so good. Yeah, Lionel's
For real.
amazing. That guy is such an interesting artist, really creative mind.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like never turns off. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I talked to him like before the show and I talked about you. I also talked to Eric, which I
That's
thought
awesome.
was funny because we
Yeah.
have the same name.
Oh, that's trippy.
So it was awesome, and they're so cool. They're so cool, and like it was so interesting seeing them all like as people because they were at the shop, right, the merch shop, and I just came in and they were just sitting there, and I was like, I really don't know like who's who or whatever, and so I just came in, I was like Aaron Goldberg, and that's how I knew who was in the band,
Oh
man.
my god. That's so funny.
And then seeing them on stage, man, was like really cool because it was like these people who are just like randoms out of nowhere just get up and like completely different persona, like a different. You just see something else. You see like their connection with themselves and with their talent almost.
Yeah, it is really trippy seeing someone go from doing either seeing someone going from doing their thing to just doing everything else, like anything else, or the
Yeah,
other way around. It's weird seeing someone go from doing anything else to like then you see them on stage or
yeah.
something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Phenomenal, man. Like I can get over. There was this one part that like he was making like a roller coaster on the visuals out of this 4D models or whatever that was kind of going with the chord progression, as the chords like went up, the roller coaster would also be going up, and he made us put our
Right.
hands up as in like it's about to drop, like with the beat and the solo and everything. But instead of dropping, it just like went straight. It just went straight. So we were all just sitting there with our hands up, and it was the
Oh,
coolest thing ever, man. It was the coolest thing because we were all just like, now what, man? It didn't go down. We're just going into his world, into his space.
that's so cool.
It
Damn.
was really cool, man. And I felt so lucky that I knew you because I probably would have never gone to that concert if it wasn't for you, honestly.
How did it get pushed to you?
Instagram ad, man.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, just an
Whoa.
ad on Instagram.
And it was that video you sent me?
Yeah, it was that video. And I was like,
Dude,
this is trippy as hell. I'm sure Aaron would love this.
that's rad, man. Yeah, I that's cool. I'm gonna tell them that definitely works. Keep doing that.
Yeah, dude, for sure. And
That's hilarious.
so you and Eric, the drummer for this band, went to middle school together.
Yeah.
So you guys went to middle school and then like high school together, and then how did like your career start taking off a little bit where like he became this super successful band that's like touring all over the country and stuff, and you became
Lionel? Or I mean Vinyl Williams or just or Eric?
were you friends with Vinyl? I don't, like
I
in middle school or
not as I met him when I was in high school, but like I'm close friends
oh
with Eric and know
wow,
Lionel. I haven't not spent nearly as much time with
got
Lionel as
you,
I have with Eric.
got you.
But basically Eric has been just grinding, making music, doing touring whatever he can, playing with a band almost constantly since we were in high school. And we were in a band together at one point.
Really? Oh, you guys were in a band together.
Oh yeah,
And
a couple of them actually. It was
with
fun.
Vinyl or just Eric?
With Eric.
Okay. And
Yeah.
did you play the keyboard? What type of instruments did you have back then, man?
I was mainly a guitar player, so I played guitar and
You play
then I
guitar.
played bass as well. And
Whoa.
I've jammed with them on keys, but yeah, I played guitar in the first band that I was ever in with Eric, and eventually, if I remember correctly, I think I think I was playing bass at another show with a couple other friends for that same time.
That's so cool, man. And what made you turn to like synths? Like,
Yeah, I only recently got into those actually. So like when I
really?
was live streaming on Twitch, like people um started to watch what I was doing and like encourage me when I like bought a new piece of gear because I wanted more functionality, and people were stoked on that and supported me in getting more things. And so I eventually decided to buy myself a nice synthesizer because I was basically just using this one Juno keyboard for every sound, and it had very little sculptability.
Hmm.
So it was limited, but I mean, it was amazing. It was awesome.
Right, right. I wish I had
Uh,
it. I had I have right now sitting next to me a Yamaha Y228.
yeah.
Just
Is that more of a synthesizer or like a
here, let me show you.
multi, like does it do drums and other things like that?
It's just like a little practice
Nice. Yeah,
piano,
yeah, yeah. It-
Yamaha.
So like I loved that thing, but I just there was something that I felt like I should get myself a nice sound sculpting device so I can get even more close to this what to the music. And I ended up buying a synth that was like way over my head, but it's what's cool is
Really?
I'm getting so much more comfortable with it now. The subsequent 37, which is it's a Moog like
Whoa.
37 key synthesizer, and it's wild. And so that thing is still blowing my mind all the time, like, and this is now like I've had it for maybe 2 years. But so that started my journey in synthesis, really like using synthesizers.
Synthesis.
Yeah.
Is it called synthesis because it's like like you're creating like
Yeah, because you're synthesizing.
wow. Thank you, man.
Yeah, it's weird. You're using a synthesizer. It's strange. But
It is strange.
it that led me down the rabbit hole of finding myself doing modular synths, which has been like
Right.
such a good learning experience for me because now I have a greater understanding. Like I said, that's sub 37 was way over my head, but now that I've been playing with modular, I have a much better understanding of the building blocks and how synths work, and
Right.
so this thing makes a lot more sense to me, and it's genius, like so well designed. It's
Wow.
crazy.
That's so interesting, man. I thought I knew about synths, man, but like I have like this one computer science friend who like I was talking to and he just asked me like, so how do synths work? Like, do you like have to program them or something, or do you like take them apart every time and build them back? And I was like, dang, dude, I actually have no idea. I wasn't too sure.
Either or. Yeah,
Got you.
there are ones that are entirely based on computer chips that you can reprogram and have just like a couple knobs or have whatever you want to control those things basically inside of a computer, or you can uh basically what a modular synth is like a synthesizer with its insides like showing, so you can make new connections. You're
Whoa.
essentially rebuilding the instrument every time you make a new connection. So your friend was spot on.
Oh my gosh, man, this kid's so smart. But I I've heard Duncan describe like synths as like a kind of like almost like a reflection of your energy, kind of. Like
Hmm.
it takes like is it the- it takes like does this sound can you make like a new sound that can like be replicated or stuff like that that's really hard to like replicate or
You can, it could be replicated, I guess, but you will stumble upon things that you'll be like, I don't even know. Like, I made this connection and I don't know why it's doing this. Someone might, you know what I mean? But like, you
oh
do stumble upon things that are very curious, or they sound like something that's real. Like sometimes, you end up coming across a sound and you can almost see like the beach and like hear people talking in the distance and the ocean waves,
Oh
and you can
wow.
start seeing whole paintings almost sometimes just by and you're just messing around with sound. It's really really crazy, man. You do stumble upon some things that I would say, I don't know if I would say they're hard to replicate, but it's a really fun way to get there.
Right, like a huge synchronicity.
Yeah, and like, maybe it would take someone else like 30 tracks of like different layers on a in a digital workstation, or like doing some crazy synthesis could get you the same thing. Whatever. It's it's all sound design.
It's so sick, man. I mean, I do believe that this is the like our first interactions with aliens, bro.
Dude, it does feel like, well, cuz like it's like uh I've always said it feels like I have like a writing partner. It's like there's another musician
Whoa,
with me when I'm playing with that thing, and it's
cool.
it's like that is the electricity. It's like
Right.
we're getting closer and closer. We're hearing electricity in interface with us. It feels that way, and it sounds crazy, but it's really awesome.
Yeah, it is. And then manipulating that to whatever you want it to do
As best as you
as
can.
best as you can. Like, for example, Vinyl Williams, I believe the keyboard player is called Trey or
I don't know that I don't know the whole band very well.
got you. But the man had like one modular synthesizer behind him and like a few like keyboards and stuff. But you could like he was going back there and with his headphones on in the middle of the set and just going crazy with the modular synthesizer,
Right.
which I have no idea how like difficult that was, man. I was like giving so much respect to this guy because like how do you like manipulate that sound to come out like exactly as you want?
Pretty practice and just
Yeah,
exploration. Yeah. But for what he was doing, I'd say practice, because I'm sure he was dialing in a specific sound probably, or he was just using it as. It all depends on the role it's playing. Was it doing something like really specific, like a certain lead line, or was it like basically a chaos machine? Because
dude, it was
sometimes,
yeah,
you know what I
right.
mean. It
It
it's like
depends.
whatever it's doing, but yeah, practice. I'm learning practice is like really just as cool as people tell you it is. Like when someone's like, dude, all it is practice, they're not lying.
Oh my gosh, man. I had this amazing keyboard player on my podcast. I haven't uploaded the episode yet, but this is like Dennis Ham, amazing keyboard player for Thundercat. And
Oh, wow.
I yeah, yeah, he's awesome, man. And I asked him like what do you do? Like cuz you're the type of artist that like tours like internationally and is constantly like going and has to create like these beautiful sounds after like figuring out when you have to shower and all of this crazy stuff. And I thought he was going to give me like some super secret advice, bro, but he literally just told me it never feels that way. It's like playing piano for me is my release. It's like you
Yeah,
know and I was like, wow, that's crazy, man. Like you genuinely love the keyboard. Like, this is what you do. Even when you are forced to do it, is still your main source of relief.
that's so cool.
I know, man. It was so cool, man. It was so cool. Yeah. But as far as like do you ever use modular synthesizers for Duncan's music?
I used it in a couple. So most of the commercials don't have like set music, but I use the same music every time for Blue Chew and for Better Help. And the Better Help music is a
Oh,
modular synth.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I've used it I think like a couple times, but for the most part no, because uh I just don't want to spend that much time making like a track for a commercial. Sometimes I do, but
Hey,
usually I just
man.
want to use the instruments and get the and also sometimes it's like too busy or too, I don't know. It just, yeah, it usually comes down to time.
I feel you, man. I just noticed your what's it called? Tapestry? Is that a tapestry of Ganesh?
Yeah.
Yo, check this out. Check this out, homie.
Uh-huh.
Hey,
I love Ganesh
yo,
so much.
God, me too, man. Like for no reason too, I'm like Catholic and have no reason to know what Ganesh is. But I just feel like this, like, this like call towards Ganesh.
That is really cool.
Yeah,
Um
man.
I felt that too, and like, so what I found out when I was younger is that like Ganesh, I guess, is like when Ganesh shows up, it's like Ganesh is the person to visit, first deity to like get to know when you want to get into Hinduism.
Whoa.
And like he's outside of every temple, every Hindu temple there's a Ganesh.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and so it's fun hang out with him, like get to know what he's all about. He's great.
Hmm.
Super cool guy.
Yeah, for real, dude. I just look at it and I'm like, hey Ganesh, can you please just remove this little obstacle in my way?
Please.
Just like out of nowhere, man. Just out of nowhere. I just look at him and I'm like, you know.
And he's like, I got you.
Actually, Duncan I was the one who like showed me Ganesh in one of his interviews. I just listened to it was on another podcast, but he was like explaining Ganesh and I was like, wow, that sounds super interesting.
Yeah, Ganesh is rad. And sometimes the obstacles, like sometimes he puts obstacles in your way that you need. So not just the remover,
Oh,
but like placer, sometimes
whoa.
obstacles are good.
Got you. He's like the master of obstacles.
That's yeah. I think that's more accurate. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure though. I think that's more accurate.
That sounds cooler. Oh man. I really like your tapestries, bro. I gotta get some for my
Oh
room.
man, I love having a little flowy silkiness on the walls.
For real, man.
Yeah, this one is just like old friend of mine gave me this. I don't know where he
Wow.
got it, but it's rad.
Yeah, it is, man. Um that kind of just made me think of vinyl's visuals a little bit because they kind of look like that.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever like I know this is kind of like more of a Duncan question, but would you ever like have you thought about incorporating maybe like some kind of visuals towards the podcast or something like that? Because I've seen like some of his meditations on YouTube and stuff like that, man. There's
Yeah.
some like crazy like visuals that are like out of nowhere, or like his some of the podcasts that he uploads like with Pemberton and stuff like that
Right.
are they have like a lot of like editing in the videos and really weird stuff, man. So like, I mean, have you ever like thought about adding like any type of or like working with visuals?
Not not for him. I have like it's like so not I'm so inefficient at doing visual work that it would be ridiculous for him to ask me to do like it would be a waste of everyone's time and money, but I uh hope that he does more like clips and visuals, especially because at least for right now, I mean, Midnight Gospel got canceled and I love his brain and animation combined. And so I'm hoping that he pairs up with more animators and or maybe people just animate to his stuff and put that out because it's endless. It's like a pot of gold. I just am not the one to do it, but maybe someday. I mean, I just recently have been getting the itch to do more, to like make visuals to make music too. So like kind of
Yeah,
filming a very short thing, like a minute or 2 minutes, and then just like scoring it essentially.
right. Wow, that sounds awesome, man.
Yeah, I think I want to start doing that. I feel like that'd be a fun way to start putting music out.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. I mean, you kind of already do it a little bit with the green screen.
Yeah, a little bit, but just so without me standing in the middle of it floating in space.
Right. Hey, man, I like that. I like that. Um, um, I wanted to ask you what, like, because you've told me we've talked a little bit about how you and Duncan met, and it was through like someone from the Love Serve Remember Foundation,
Yeah.
which didn't. like know you that very like they didn't know your stuff, is what you told me.
Uh-huh.
And they recommended you to like the greatest podcaster in the world.
That's how I feel.
Like that makes me just want to like drop everything I'm doing and go to Ramdas retreats, man.
I mean, I think you should. But really what I think you could get out of that more than that specific thing. I think you should go to a Roundhouse retreat
Oh
immediately. But
yeah. Oh yeah.
um besides that, I was just following a feeling. Like I was going through something at the time where I was like uh looking for I wanted to work for them. I just was like, I want to work for Love Serve Remember Foundation.
Oh
And so I
gosh.
reached out, or I wanted to
That's right.
volunteer.
Yeah, that's a great
At,
place to volunteer at, man.
and they were like, nah, but you should come to the next retreat. And so I did. That day I got a ticket to the retreat and ran into Duncan, and then saw him again at this next retreat. Or 6 months later, he was not there, and his wife was, and I guess she was looking for someone to help, and telling the lady who organized that whole thing, and she's the one who told her I would be a good fit. But she had never heard my work before or anything like that. So, but the point is, I was just following this feeling, and so you don't need to stop everything you're doing, but just
Mm.
make sure that what you do make
Oh,
sure
come on.
sorry, make sure that you follow your heart, you know what I mean? Like you have to do, if you get a feeling like emailing the director of a foundation that you've been listening to their content and you want to volunteer for them, send that email. Don't swallow that feeling and be like, not me, or it's a waste of time, because you have no idea where that's going to lead. And had wanted to work for Duncan for 4 years before that.
Really?
Yeah, I like it, like landed in my lap, but just took
Wow.
time, you know what I mean? So you just got
Yeah.
to keep doing what you feel like feels right, and stuff works out.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. It's I'm going to college right now
Uh-huh.
for neuroscience.
That's insane. That's really rad.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It's it's definitely a little difficult, but I know that like, you know, I love Duncan and Ram Dass and all these people, man. So I really don't have like that big of a like worry that I'm not going to have time for spirituality or like to for my heart and stuff, you know. So I kind of put college like at that level that it's just something that I have to do, kind of.
Yeah,
Did you ever feel that way when you graduated high school? I don't know if you well like what your path kind of was
sure.
afterwards, man, and how you like dealt with those like the pressure of just um just knowing that that you don't have to like stop everything you're doing and follow your heart, like because it sounds really easy,
Yeah.
but like how do you like really tune into your heart? How do you listen to those feelings, and it's not, and you're not confusing it with like with your own idea of maybe other people's ideas of what you should do, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I respect this person a lot, so their opinion means a lot to me, or something like that.
I absolutely. Can you Okay, so for me it really comes down to, like, usually if I go far enough with a decision that is not right for me, it like physically feels bad. It makes me feel bad. It's like in your gut, this is wrong. And so you just got to get more sensitive to that feeling. And the more you tune into it and the more you listen for that kind of voice coming from your inner knowing, you'll feel what is right for you to be doing. And like there's no harm in doing something, trying something out that maybe at first does not feel right, because that could be fear.
Hmm.
So if you're listening to advice of someone who you respect and you think that if you're convincing yourself that they probably know, even if it's something that you maybe think you don't want to do, try it. You never have to commit to anything.
Wow.
I got this opportunity to shadow a lady in Foley. You know what that is? Foley
Like
sound.
just no, what is it?
It's in movies, every time something is seen on screen, usually besides like dialogue, it's not captured, and so you need to record like someone putting a drink on the table or
Oh,
touch it.
got you.
Those little sounds like
Mhm.
forks and knives. A lot of sound is recorded after the fact, and so that's called Foley, and
Got you.
it's a line of work that is not easy to get into, and so I was incredibly lucky to have the opportunity to shadow this person, and I felt a huge pressure though because I at that point in my life I was like I don't know if this is what I want to do, and I feel like if I say yes to this, I'm going to have to commit to this forever, and I literally uh did something that made me really nervous, but I felt like it was the right thing to do. I told that lady that. I told her how much I was freaked out about having to commit to doing it. She's like, "Dude, you're 24 or whatever." She's like, "Don't I don't care if you come back tomorrow. Like we don't I just hang out." And like she just told me like stop thinking that everything you do is forever. You can change
Wow.
anytime you want. And that was huge for me.
Wow.
That was massive.
Yeah, dude. It reminds me a little bit of this conversation that I had with Duncan actually. I met him in person after one of his comedy shows here in Dallas. And he took me back to like the green room, bro, because the Patreon meditations and stuff. And we were just talking, and I was talking to him about my like college and stuff, and I was like, yeah, man, your podcast was one of the biggest things that inspired me to like go to school and go to neuroscience because I wanted to, have like something to talk about and like and he just looked at me and he was like, dude, if you wanted to be on a podcast, all you had to do was ask. You don't have to go get a whole ass neuroscience degree. And that's when I was like, wow, like
It's true.
it's so true, man. We get in over our heads so much. And it was just
And
not the response that I was waiting for.
you're oh yeah,
I
you'll
was,
almost never get the one you're expecting from him.
oh man, especially from Duncan, man. He's such a nice guy. Such a nice guy. Such a
I
good
love
example.
him. There's one more thing I wanted to. There was I like forgot it and now it's coming back.
Oh yes.
You said something about feeling not concerned that you would have time for spirituality in your life.
Ah, yeah.
Do you feel concerned about that, or you don't?
No, I don't. Not at all,
Okay,
man.
good, because like you don't need to sit on a meditation cushion to be spiritual. You can be as spiritual as someone who's meditating 24 hours a day if you're in school. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. Your life is your spirituality as far as I'm
Oh
concerned.
wow. Wow, that's so true, man. I've never actually like put myself in that
Or
perspective.
your life is your I can't I guess I don't know if life is your spirituality is the right word, but your life is your spiritual path. Your life is where you do the work. That is it. That is it. Like you
Yeah.
can make every experience a spiritual experience because they are.
Wow. Right, like when people say that, "Oh, I can't meditate because of my children."
Your
It's like
kids are the meditation. Like
your
that is it.
kids are the meditation.
The whole yeah, the whole thing. The whole thing.
Right.
You can't get away from it. I mean, you can try, but like
Right.
as soon as you're ready to do it, it's there everywhere.
Right. Yeah. Right. And that's why it feels also kind of weird to spend so much time on an intro,
Mm.
because you're like worshiping it when it's not as any more like important. I mean, I guess it is more important than like washing the dishes, but as far as spirituality goes and how much you're like growing and learning from it is the same. It's
But there is something to be said about where we put our energy. Like, I think it's beautiful that you spend all that time on your intro because you care.
Right. Yeah.
You spend as much time washing the dishes as you need to, I'm assuming you don't spend more than is necessary, but
Oh
with your
no, yeah.
intros you
Definitely not.
do whatever feels like needs to be done because that's your place where you get to express yourself, so it makes total sense. That's beautiful. you should
Yeah,
you
man.
sh- you should you should worship your creative outlet. It's like that's the most beautiful thing we have is
Yeah, man.
creation.
That's so true, man. Yeah, it's Dennis also told me this from the past conversation. That it's our almost like our responsibility as artists and like humans to create what we like to us sounds the best.
I agree. If you're going to be an artist, it is your responsibility to do what feels right and to do it the best you can.
Yeah, like I used to feel like really like worried about like copying other people and thinking that people are going to recognize that I took the progression from here or something. But like I think that to me that's how I can put like the like what I think is really good out,
Right. Yeah.
which I think is important.
You got to just you have to do whatever you need to do to get your point across.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's it's definitely important. And like I love how like open you were to like respond to me for like Duncan's text that I sent Duncan and like not like instead of not replying, you like send me like some super good advice. And I just think that kind of like shows like some of like that interconnectedness that is happening like between all of us, that is like kind of like the thing that music is almost as well, like like all the sounds are we've pretty much heard like every sound that could possibly be made, right? Like all frequencies
Right. Yeah.
and most chords as well. So like it's all just like a reshaping of kind of like the human experience almost.
Right. Yeah, it's like we're all working with the same stuff. It's just
Yeah.
what are you going to make with it? And
Yeah.
you should make it instead of being afraid that you're going to do something that's already been done because you're probably right. And like a lot of it maybe there will be parts of it that are parts of other things, but it's never going to be the same. Like what you make will be unique
Yeah,
always
exactly.
because you did it.
Always.
Because you and like you can't help it. You know what I mean? Like it will have
Yeah.
you all over it.
Yeah,
It's
I
beautiful.
agree. Yeah, it really is, man.
Something someone told me that I thought was really useful in my early becoming a singer-songwriter was they said cover 3 songs as well as you can to their like original likeness or whatever, as close as you can to the original, and then you'll see the part of you that is in all of them.
Wow.
It's like, try
Wow.
to recreate a drawing or 3 different drawings and you'll see, oh, I do it like this. Like no matter even if I'm trying to do
Yeah.
it like them.
Wow. That is so interesting, man.
It's trippy, right? It's a cool way to find your
Yeah.
sound.
Wow. That is so cool. I'm gonna definitely try that. Like just recreate a song to the best of your abilities.
Yeah. Oh, it's fun. And you learn a
Wow.
lot by playing other people's music because you just get used to chord progressions that maybe you wouldn't have thought to try or something like that.
Yeah, or like polychords. Like you're playing like you notice that the melody is being played by like playing the third of the chord. It's
Yes,
just a third that they're playing throughout the whole chord progression.
totally.
And then you can start playing the third of your own song as the melody.
Exactly. Playing like learning how someone else's stuff works is a really good way to learn how to make your own stuff.
Wow. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, there's always time for spirituality. It's never not there.
Yeah,
So it's
man.
good that you're not worried about that.
Yeah. Yeah. That kind of reminds me of the Ram Dass quote of I am loving awareness. Like the other day I felt that so strong when I was meditating, and I just like I was meditating in my apartment like on the balcony, and I was just looking out at like a tree or something, and I was like like just for a second I saw like the most beautiful like scene, you know, like everything was like blurring and like peripheral visions, and I was like, wow, I wish like everyone could see this right now. But
Right.
then I was like, this is just like a tree from my balcony. Like there's probably a billion things that going on at all times that like we just pass on because um I don't know. I just think like you know, like spirituality, life, reality is just beautiful, you know? And we are awareness. We're just like we have the ability to like be aware of it
When
in
we show
different.
up and we are there, it is so beautiful. It's just that so much of the time we're like somewhere else. But
Yeah.
when you come right to where you are, it is like one of the most beautiful things in the world just to be alive and like feeling anything. It's insane.
Yeah, man. 100%. 100%. Yeah. I love Ram Dass, man. How'd you get into Ram Dass? I'm just curious.
My dad showed me a Ram Dass discussion when I was like 14,
You must
and
have had a great like you must have done something great in your past life to have
dude, I
to
yeah,
have your dad like someone show you that like in your
I got
family, man.
so blessed with my parents. I ended up with
Wow.
really, really cool parents who turned me on to some really cool stuff, but never
That's
forced anything
awesome.
on me. They just encouraged me to figure out what felt right for me. But they had already lived fun, cool lives that where they picked up really cool things along the way, and yeah, they're great. I love them.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I got to Ram Dass through the Midnight Gospel, man.
Oh wow, that's rad. Wait, is he in the very last episode or something on the bus?
He yeah, he is. He's like
Yeah.
I think Clancy's like, "What's going on? Where are we?" And the one word he like the one sentence he says in the whole show is just be here now. Just be here now. For real, bro. What a
So
way to wrap
sick.
up the whole show.
Oh God, I love that. That show is so good.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It was
Um,
perfect little capsule.
so perfect, man. And it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know who Duncan was like when this came out, man.
Wow. So okay, that's how you found out about Duncan too.
That's how I found out about Duncan, and through Duncan, I kind of like
How
I
did
was
you
like,
find out about that show? Was it
I
just
think
like Netflix pushing it to
yeah,
you?
yeah. I think a friend pointed it to me in my
That's
direction.
amazing.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, man.
And see, like, I don't know. You could trace everything back. Once you're there, it's so easy to look back and be like, wow, all those little
Yeah.
connections brought me here. But, like, that's why you got to just do the stuff that feels right because you have no clue where it's going. And that show
Wow.
turned you on to someone like Ram Dass. Like, that show's cool, but Ram Dass is an endless, like, I've always, he's an endless wealth of love. But I've always said this is what Duncan is so, so good at is he's like a lighthouse that points light on really cool things that will change your life if you spend time with them. Like, he doesn't only interview Buddhists, he doesn't only interview witches and Satanists.
And
He
dominatrix.
interviews, yeah, interviews everyone and shines a big, beautiful, accepting light on it.
Yeah.
And when that light's on it, people who have maybe never seen it before or not seen it in that light get to see it again and really change their perspective and potentially change their life. And I think that is something that is really cool, and that's why I love working for Duncan because he's like helping people
Oh
with
my God.
their paths by shining light on things. It's
I know,
awesome.
man. And like like he says this all the time that he's not a teacher, you know, that
Right.
he's just, you know, whatever. But honestly, man, I've like learned a lot from him as well. And like most of these ideas that I have, I like came from him, man. And I'm like constantly telling them to other people. And it just like, you know, it's not only like the people that he touches, but also like the people that they're like those people touch and
It's
so works.
wild. It's so wild.
Yeah. Yeah, it is, man. It is. Have you this is a little bit off topic, but like more to do with what we were talking about earlier. Just is would you did you work on Midnight Gospel? I'm just curious.
I don't think I edited any of the episodes that ended up in that show.
Oh, Got you. Okay.
Yeah, so probably
Got
not.
you.
I think I would know. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. Is do you know like do you have any like any future projects like Midnight Gospel or something? Like any
Oh, I not that I have any idea.
Oh,
I
okay.
hope so.
Yeah, I've heard rumors of a
Oh,
book
what?
coming, man. A book.
For what? For the Midnight Gospel?
Well, oh,
Oh, he's definitely writing a book. I just
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
what it is. I have no idea what that is.
Man, whenever that book comes, it's gonna be a good day, bro.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's talked about that on the podcast before.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely talks about the struggles of writing a
Yeah.
lot, which is really interesting. Yeah. Do
Dude,
you
writing is a struggle. Yeah, that's hard.
I was about to ask if you ever like because I've seen like your do you write? Like do you write?
I used to do creative writing with my friends cuz I met a good number of friends in creative writing in high school, and so
Wow.
we carried that on for a little while after school, but like I struggle a lot with writing, which is why I do improvised music.
Yeah, I was about to say like all of your shows are improvised
Yeah.
or like Twitch streams.
Yeah, I struggle with liking things after I write them. So like if I
Mm,
don't actually
yeah.
have to write it, then I can enjoy it while I'm playing it at least.
Right. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, that wasn't good. Moving on.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll do another one. You know, it's like whatever.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Um, I'm curious. What's like the craziest thing that you've ever like heard on the synthesizer? Like
Mm.
I know you were telling me like you've heard like voices and stuff, or like you can like compare. You know, it starts like sounding like voices or something.
The
But
cr-
yeah,
yeah,
that tell me.
the
That's it.
craziest thing that I've ever heard come out of there was I was like playing with noise. So literally just like, like white noise and
Oh,
other
I love noise, bro.
noise, and somehow in doing that, like I started to hear what sounded like a chorus, or like an orchestra, and I
Whoa.
had no idea where that was coming from. It like literally felt like I had tuned into some weird radio, but it wasn't like super
Wow.
clear or anything, but it's like I was hearing like a beautiful song, and none of my modules were doing melodic things. It was all chaos. And I was just like
Wow.
in that for so long that I started to hear these like stringed instruments. It was insane.
Wow.
It was so weird. And that like makes me I still think about that and I go like, dude, I got to get back in there. Like I need to go back into that space. Like wherever that was, I need to go play around in noise again and see what finds me.
Right.
It's crazy.
It is crazy, man. Like what even is that place?
I don't know. It's unpredictable, and that's what's really fun. I just recently got an instrument that is passive, which means it has no power. Like you don't power it. It just
Really?
it's powered by the control voltage that goes inside of it. So you send signal to it from other synthesizers, and that turns it on and off. And so the whole thing is the sound of circuits turning on and then like turning off.
Oh, wow.
And it's really unpredictable, and that's a very fun place to be when you're playing music.
Wow, man. Yeah. That's incredible. That's so cool. I've always wanted to get into synths and modular synthesizers because I play keys,
Yeah.
but number one, they're like, so expensive, like modular synthesizers.
Have you looked into VCV Rack before?
No.
It's a program that has modular. It's like a modular synth on your computer for free,
Oh my God.
and you can just duplicate thousands of modules. You know what I mean? Like you don't need to. It's totally free. It's amazing, and you can. There are lots of modules on there that don't exist in the real world, but there's also a lot of modules that are made by the actual makers who just upload their code, and you can use like essentially the
Wow.
real module before you ever buy it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that is sick, man. I think I've seen kind of like plugins almost like.
It's the new version can be a plugin, but this is like its
Oh,
own thing
really?
where it's essentially like a modular rack in your computer. It's just all digital.
Wow.
And you can even interface that with real instruments. If you get the right interface. But it's I highly, if you're interested at all in modular synth, like that's what got me going was VCV Rack. And I would look up the guy who teaches it on YouTube that I really really like. His name is Omri Cohen, Omri Cohen.
Okay.
That guy like really runs you through everything from the very basic stuff to more complicated uh synth techniques, and he does a great job of making it make sense.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I can't I can't like express enough how great that guy was. How like it was very important for getting me where I am now. And now I'm just having so much fun with gear that I thought I was too stupid for this. Like I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. But like my friend held my hand through my first like hour or two on VCV Rack, and then I just started watching Omri Cohen, and it changed everything.
Wow, man. Well, you really are like a jack of all trades, man. A true role model, if you will.
uh
As best
I
as it gets.
Yeah, thank you. I I I guess all I can say to that is my best. All you see is my best. As in like, I stream when I'm feeling super inspired, and then I don't when I'm not.
Right.
Uh
Yeah.
so take that for what it is.
Well, man. Well, either way, man, you're an incredible person to talk to. I love your way of thinking, man, and just your whole like just who you are, man. I love it. It's really cool, man. Even without the music, it's just it was really fun talking to you, man. Just
Thank you, Eric. I really appreciate that. It was really nice to talk with you too. And just like we had chatted here and there like a couple times over the
yeah.
last year or two, and it's just really cool to actually now like put a face to your name, and more than a face at this point now, like a bit of a person, like a personality, and it's really cool to get to know you.
Yeah, man. Of course. Yeah. And and you too, man. You know.
Thank you, brother.
Obviously, man. But yeah, man, thank you so much. It was really like thank you, man. It means a lot that you do this for other people and
It's my
for
pleasure,
me.
man. Truly.
All right, man. Well, I think this is a good place to end it, man. It's been like an hour or so.
Beautiful.
But but yeah,
Thank you
man, is
so
it
much, brother.
of course, is there anything that you would like to plug? Any music
uh
or
I
I
would
know?
just say go to my Twitch if you're interested in seeing what I do live, twitch.tv/Aaron Goldberg. And my Bandcamp if you want to hear the things that I do have that are recorded and written, as well as some jams that I've cut from my streams. And then if you get that far and you really like the streams, the Twitch VODs go away after 2 weeks or 2 months, maybe something like that.
Really?
And so my Patreon is for $1 you can get the live streams. I upload them forever, so you can go listen to them there.
Wow.
Uh, that was the lowest they would let me do it, but I'm just trying to have a place where people who really want it can get it if they really want it.
Wow.
But I'm not gonna post those on my Bandcamp. That's where I'm gonna put things that I've put more
Yeah.
thought into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got you,
But
man.
that's really it, man. I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to play music for people. I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to play music for people, quote unquote, live on the internet. To have people like
Oh yeah.
there in the quote unquote room with me. It feels so special to share time and space like that with people, um, and to be able to put music into their ears. It's really cool. It's a dream come true.
It really shows, man. It really shows that you enjoy what you do, man. Honestly, like look at your house, dude.
Dude, I
It's
mean, I
so
love it so
cool,
much,
man.
bro. It's everything.
Tapestries, a drum set.
It's
What instrument did you start off with? I'm just
guitar.
curious. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
actually, that's not true. Piano as a child, but guitar is the first
Ah,
instrument I fell in love with
okay.
at like
Really?
13. Yeah.
I'm curious. Which one do you like more?
At this point, honestly, I'm more comfortable on a guitar doing some things, and I'm getting better at the piano than I have ever before, and so I'm having more fun with
Wow.
that right now than guitar. But I feel more comfortable with guitar uh as a soloist, as
So
like a lead player.
when you play on the ads, is that like you playing like the instruments, like, or is it?
Yeah.
Well, man, because I make a lot of music like that. Like honestly, it's like chill, like good music, I guess you can say. Not to, I'm just kidding. But um, but um, what was my point?
uh Talk about the commercial music.
Um, I think I was gonna say that. Um, oh wow, I'm sorry, man. I think
Oh,
it's gone.
it's all good, bro. I know how it goes.
Oh man, I don't know.
It's like
But
birds. You open the door to the cage and it's just like the idea's gone.
yeah, for real, man. Yeah, with most things, with most things. But yeah, man. I love your music, man. Oh, I just remembered. See, thank you.
Beautiful.
Whoever just the birds came back, bro.
That's a good bird owner. The birds come back.
Yeah, man. It was. I was just gonna say that I use like my keyboard with different sounds, like guitars and bass, and I do all of it just from my keyboard.
That's rad.
And it sounds. I don't know. Like now, when I listen to your music, I'm like, how would I do that? Like, did he do that all on the keyboard? Because it sounds so good.
Oh nah. I so that's when I first started. That Juno I had did it
Hmm.
all. I was playing my like
Uh,
everything except for bass and
right.
guitar because those are my main instruments, I guess. Like
Right. You have the ability to choose whether you want to do like a
yeah, and
real.
now I don't have the Juno set up, so I have to play everything. And some of them are samples, like I use drum samples all the time. I don't usually record
Wow.
the live drum kit. That's very rare.
Really?
Yeah, it's hard to get it to sound good.
Yeah, for sure. I
It's so much
agree.
easier to use a nice drum sample.
Wow. That's so interesting, man. I used to use a lot of the AI generated drummers from like Logic or
Uh-huh. Yeah,
GarageBand.
those sound great. They're
Yeah,
surprisingly good because
they're
that's the thing.
surprisingly good.
They're high quality. They're like quality audio samples, and they're pre-made rhythms that like are tested to sound good. It's like you can't go wrong. And then it's just
Yeah,
about what you put on top of it.
right. But you also have drum machines, right? I
Yeah,
see you use them a lot in your live streams,
yeah.
and they sound so nice, so
Thank
nice.
you. The the main drum machine that I have is called the Model Cycles,
Mhm.
and but to be honest, I don't even use that very frequently anymore. Lately, what I've been doing, I have like a case of Eurorack modules that's just drums, and
Wow,
so I'm like triggering. I basically made a drum machine
wow,
minus a sequencer, and I use my
gotcha,
my key step to sequence that.
gotcha, man.
But
Wow,
it's
I
essentially a drum machine. Yeah.
that's so cool, man. Ever since I was little, I've been obsessed with like. Do you remember those pads that you used to like? It was just like a pad with a bunch of buttons, and you could like program songs to just like kind of like Guitar Hero.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I wanted like one of those
yeah.
so bad my whole life. And but like I just don't know what I would do with it. Like I mean, I obviously like probably drums or something.
Right.
But
Either drums or you throw like vocal sample, or just whatever chops. Like you put a song in there and then you cut it
right.
on to different pads, and that's you got hip hop right there.
Wow. Yeah.
That's what those are. They're basically just like controllers, or like those back in the day. I mean, I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but like they're either going to be something that you can
A
load
D-pad.
audio onto, or you can like put or you connect it to like a computer or something that has
Okay.
samples, and then you like are triggering them.
I believe it was called a D-pad.
Oh, so you're talking about just like it looks like a cross, or is it like lots of buttons?
It's like lots of buttons that light up the colors.
Interesting. Crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just called a D-pad. That's what I used to just really want when I was a child, man.
Well, man, I love sampling. Like, there's a lot of good samplers out there that have pads like that that'll satisfy the inner child in you.
Wow. Wow. Well, now I have to try. I know like one of my favorite artists is Daft Punk.
Uh huh.
And I know like they have a few songs where it's like just like snippets of other songs. And
Oh,
they like
totally.
made like their own like completely unique original song that's made out
Yeah.
of like all of the best like really good like songs that. And when I found that out I was like number one like the patience and the attention, the focus that these guys must have to be able to write a song like that that's made out of
It's insane.
other people's music. But it sounds so cool and I love it and I want to try it. I
It's
want to get
fun,
into
dude.
it.
Sampling is fun, and you can do that on your computer. I don't know if you have any digital audio workstation. Like, what do you edit this podcast on?
Logic.
Yeah, dude, you can totally uh, create. So you can throw a big piece of audio into a Logic track and create it, like make it into an instrument. I don't know if you've ever done that, but it's any piece of audio. You can basically it'll
Right.
automatically cut it up and then put it on your keyboard.
Oh my gosh. Well,
And
I'm
so you
definitely
can
gonna
make
look
a
up.
sampler with your keyboard. If that thing can connect to your computer,
Wow.
then you can do it today.
Wow. Wow, dude. I'm gonna have to look up how to do that, bro. That sounds
Just
very fun.
just look up how to make a sampler instrument on Logic, and you're gonna have so much fun, dude.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, man, I definitely will. That sounds great, dude. Uh, I I have a question.
Yeah.
Who are like one some of your like favorite artists, man? Like just curious. Like
So my biggest like influences are Madlib and Jay Dilla
wow, I had
and
no idea.
honestly MF Doom, throw him in there too. That
No
whole that
way.
trio right there has been the biggest influence behind my why almost everything I do now
Wow.
ends up sounding like hip hop.
It
After
totally does. And I didn't make the connection, bro. I didn't make the connection from like
Cuz it's like so much of it that I make doesn't sound like that, but there are times where I find myself making where I'm like feeling, and it's usually something I'm really liking, and I'm like, dude, this is almost, it's like in Dilla territory. I'm not saying I'm making Dilla beats, but what I mean is like I'm like this is like sounding so
I feel
saucy and
you.
delicate, and like sounds that I would have maybe otherwise not thought would have sound. I don't even know how to say it, and I want to retract that I'm making Dilla sauce at all. But what I'm trying to say is I can see their influence on myself really clearly, and
Yeah.
sometimes way more than others. And
Like
like,
accidentally
and that's some of my
almost.
favorite stuff I've ever made. Is I'm like, fuck, dude, this sounds like,
Yeah.
or actually, someone more recently I had something where I was like, damn, this is like sounds like a Kareem Riggins track, and Kareem Riggins is a huge inspiration for me as well. So I don't know if you know who that is, but you should check him out.
I don't, bro, but I definitely will check him out.
And then Brian Eno, really like ambient king.
Yo. Awesome.
Yeah,
Well, now I got some good artists to listen to, man. Some interesting
yeah, man.
stuff.
Kareem Riggins is insane. Check out Alone Together. It's the first thing I heard from him. And then Head Not Sweet. He's rad.
Got you, man. Excuse me, bro. These goddamn mineral waters, bro, are like dropping an explosion down there or something. But that's why I kind of like them, honestly. You know, they
Keeps everything moving.
yeah, it's interactive. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Aaron.
Oh man, my pleasure. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate you
Surely,
having me on.
man. Yeah. Everybody, go check out Aaron's alien communications on Twitch, and if you want to go learn a new language and communicate with some aliens and stuff, all of that will be in the description of the links.
Thank you so much, dude.
Thank you, man. Hare
Hell yeah.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.